Selling's not that difficult. You build relationships, you solve problems.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Perks in Paving. We have a very special guest today. He's a repeat guest. We have the Director of Sales for the Pavement Group in Studio One today, Eli Stoehr. Welcome back.
Thank you, bro. You said very special, man.
Very special
Very
guest.
special on the favorite podcast.
On the best. Actually, I
On
can't say
the-
that. I
yeah.
have my own
Yeah, you
podcast.
can say it.
I
Go
can't
ahead,
admit
say
that.
it.
Nope.
For those of you who don't know, Eli has a couple of podcasts of his own, so
Yeah.
so you can't say that. But
You know, check them out all on the One Team Media channel on YouTube
and the Pavement Group YouTube channel.
and the Pavement Group YouTube channel as well.
But we wanted to have you on today because, you know, with the media team, especially being right across the hall from us, I feel like, you know, we're really good at advertising, you know, about our company,
Mhm.
but sometimes people think that we just have fun, which we do. But we work hard so that we can have fun. So we wanted to kind of recap of, you know, what we do, what our roles entail, and, you know, kind of what goes on behind the scenes, like maybe some stuff that the cameras don't pick up. But let's recap maybe just like the last 30 minutes, actually. So for those of you who don't know that weren't in the office before we started, or the studio before we started recording, we were supposed to start at 10:30. It's now 11:08. So Eli was finishing up a call. So, you know, we had to wait a little bit for him to catch up, and then he finally got over here, and I had to jump on a call. So yeah, what did you have going on this morning? What delayed our start time, Eli?
I don't know about you guys, but I just golf.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So this morning, had a bunch of calls with the team, leadership team, just going through, you know, collaborating, going through any issues, anything that we need to address and talk about. And, you know, some of those things just take a lot of time to talk through and,
For sure.
you know, come to a conclusion on. So that was really it this morning.
Yeah.
Just a lot of calls, collaborating with the team. And, you know, the call I was on went, you know, another 30 minutes past what was supposed to, what it was scheduled for. So,
For sure.
which happens from time to time, but
Yeah.
that's a typical Friday morning.
Yep.
To be fair.
Yeah. And then, like I said, when he got in here, we were looking at our phones and we realized we didn't have a gate code for a storage facility, that we were trying to look at a job ad. So I had to jump on some quick calls to make sure we could get our vendor in to take a quick peek for us. So things happen. You know, we record this podcast once every couple weeks. But we do a lot behind the scenes. So once again, we want to jump into kind of what our typical day looks like. So, Mark, you as a project coordinator, explain to us, you know, what your role is.
So another way to phrase what I do for the company is pretty much sales support. So you reel in the deals. I work with a few other salespeople in the company as well. And once the deals are approved and we have permission to get to work, it's a lot of managing the actual project itself, you know, communicating with the client, with our subcontractors and other team members on when it's going to be done, what sections is going to be done. You know, weather and other factors can always play a huge part too. That's especially what's going on this week. It's rained almost every day in the south, so we've had a lot of jobs get pushed. So it's a lot of rearranging the schedule and the calendar to make things happen. But that is my primary focus right now within the company.
For sure. And then Eli,
Mm-hmm.
tell us what your role is. Like I said, you have two roles. So I mean, if you want, I can comment a little on the sales
Go
side.
ahead. Yeah.
But you go into like the director role and the leadership side. Like what do those roles entail for you? And
Yeah, so director of national sales. So, you know, Brian's always referred to me as a player coach, so to speak. So I was a salesperson before I, you know, transitioned into this role. So I have a handful of clients that I still oversee. I still do prospecting. I'm still bringing in new accounts. I'm still working on some jobs. That's kind of the player side of it. But then the coach side of it, I do, you know, oversee the sales team. So Paige is obviously on that team as a salesperson. So I'm, you know, meeting with you, you know, once a week. And you know, I talk with the salespeople, you know, multiple times throughout the week too. It's not just one meeting once a week, but you know, conducting our overall sales meeting, getting with the salespeople on different strategies, different issues that you might have, whether that be something like a project specific that you're just looking for guidance on different scopes or pricing or which contractor, like all these different things, to how do you really attack an account? How do you go deeper? How do you find new contacts? Which account should you be going after? Is this a qualified account? So really just diving into the nuts and bolts of like everything that you guys do every day, and really sharing what's made me successful in that role and pouring it into you guys, so that you know, I always say, like, oftentimes as a salesperson, like, you know, you go through a year or two where you've had, you know, some of the people on our team have a lot of experience in sales. I don't need to teach them how to sell. Like, selling's not that difficult. You build relationships, you solve problems. Sometimes you just need to be reminded of the little nuances and just the little, you know, I don't want to even call them tips and tricks, but like the little, like, just the little things that you need to do throughout each and every day. And qualifying different accounts and customers and all that stuff. So it's a lot, you know, a lot of meetings and stuff like that, but I love it.
So going from being in the game like on a day-to-day basis all day and transitioning to leadership, what have you enjoyed the most about being a leader in this company, and what have you had not necessarily disliked the most, but what have you struggled with the most in that transition?
Yeah, so the thing that I probably struggled the most is like finding the balance between, you know, pouring into people like Paige and the rest of our sales team, and also still working on some of my own accounts. And I've, you know, throughout the last 2 years, throughout this year, really, I've started to figure it out, I feel like, a lot more. It's still a struggle because I brought in accounts that I still want to be a part of, and I don't think I'll ever completely leave those relationships or those accounts. But that's been really kind of the toughest thing, is just finding that balance. My favorite thing, though, is watching people like Paige just absolutely freaking crush it. It is super rewarding from a you know, from like a mentor to mentee type of relationship, to like watch the mentee like crush it, right? Like the things that I am teaching Paige and the things I'm teaching everyone else on the sales team, or that I remind them of, to like, for you to take those things and implement those things, and then just like it shows in your numbers, and in turn that's going to show in your life. You're going to have a better quality of life for you and Mark, and you know, everything that you're going to do. It's like
and Enzo.
Enzo. Mark's going to be able to get a new set of golf clubs. But like that's been really like the most rewarding thing, is like it's, I understand now, like Brian's, you know, one of my closest mentors, and like I've been able to take the things that he's taught me, and he tells me all the time, he's like, it's one of his most rewarding things, and I didn't really understand that until I was put in a similar position, and now I watch, you know.
Well, I can agree with that, because even now, you know, the things that you've taught me over the last 2 years, I'm teaching you the same thing, so that hopefully you can grow into, you know, a similar role. And I agree. It's so rewarding to watch him like really jump in and take control and be able to handle these situations that you probably wouldn't have been able to a few months ago, you know?
Yeah. And that's the other thing I kind of, was generally speaking, want to comment on, is like the structure is there. Like the play is there for us to win. And it's all about how much are you committed to the script? How much are you going to apply yourself and put the effort in? Because it's there. It's literally, the roadmap is there. Brian taught you taught her. I've watched her, I've observed you. I'm training people now too in the way that I was trained. So it's literally right there for the taking. So
yeah, but it is going to require hard work. But I think the people that we have on our team, I mean, we talk a lot on the show how Brian is such a visionary, and you are such a visionary. I mean, you have these big goals, and we all want to be a part of those big goals. We don't want to achieve that number at the end of the year and then be like, well, I didn't. Like, I want to be a big part of the reason that we achieve the goals that we do. So with that, I mean, you know, it is a lot of work outside of this media studio. You know what I mean? We once again have the opportunity to come in and chat and hopefully inspire other people and teach other people, you know, a couple times a month. But you know, on the day to day, we're grinding. You know, we're in the office.
So I want to ask you, you know, in the early days with starting the company and your involvement, like what is that, you know, we use that verb all the time in this office of grinding and getting it done and whatever. What does that look like now with you in this leadership role, as opposed to whenever it was like you and Brian sharing the same office, like same desk as an office.
You're asking what does the grind look like
Well,
now?
like in terms of like intense, like it's always been there, but like, is it more kind of describe the difference of you're still putting in long hours. Everyone, most people in this office do, but like in terms of the intensity of, or the volume of what you have to work with now and manage compared to when it was starting out.
Yeah, it's more leadership. So like, more leadership than it is like project based stuff. So like, when we first started out, I was 100% or 90%, project based or hands on stuff. Now that's probably 20%. The other 80% goes towards, working with Paige, working with Mikey Saps, working with Chad like everybody else on the team. I'm meeting with them, and sometimes that it is exhausting to like go through questions and go through issues that everyone has, right? Like mentally, like that can take a toll. So it's now it's less of the actual clicking the buttons, making the phone calls and stuff like that, and it's more of just diving into the issues and looking at it from a tactical and fundamental standpoint, and what would be the best solution for whatever issue that everyone on the sales team has. So it takes a lot more brain power, I feel like now. Not that it didn't then, but I feel like it takes a lot more now to like solve bigger, higher level issues, I guess is a good way to put it. But then in addition to that, like I'm still grinding and I'm still making cold calls and making new connections. And a big piece of that too is finding strategic partners. So that's something that I didn't do years ago, but like now that I'm in the position I'm in, like I'm looking for other, salespeople, other, director level sales folks who are in similar industries with similar customers that we can, collaborate with, because there's a lot of overlap with customers and things like that. Like folks who have aligned values. So like I'm searching for those types of folks, roofers and landscaping folks, and whoever we can be, more of a strategic partner with too. So that's been a big focus this year as well. But yeah, it's less about like the doing of the work for me now, but I still in, as far as like cold calls and prospecting and stuff like that. And it's more about like solving higher level, bigger picture issues that are going to take us, further and further.
I would agree. I mean, you're obviously in a different role than I am, but I would even agree with that from where I've grown over the last couple of years. I mean, where I started to where I am now, it's like there were little issues, but now they're like bigger picture issues. Like, how are we solving these problems for our clients rather than, clicking the boxes, making the call. I mean, I'm still doing those things, a lot of those things, but I feel like more of my day-to-day is like solving the issues, building the relationships. So it's funny to watch how it's evolved. But going back to what you said, can't really compare where you were when you started to where you are now. We were talking before you got over here. I mean, the level that you work, I mean, even us as physical therapists, I work my butt off as a physical therapist, but to compare that to where I am now, I mean, I'm still working hard, but it's just, you can't compare the two. They're two different jobs. So I feel like that's probably the same with, what you were speaking of. So.
Compensation's a little bit different on this side, just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, and I think that definitely plays into it, though. I mean, with that being said, I mean, I am 10 times more willing, or not, that's not fair. I still worked my butt off, but now I know the harder I work, I'm going to, be able to be compensated for that work that I put in.
Your level of compensation, too, is directly impacted by the larger picture problems that you solve. So if you're solving small little problems, which, by the way, there's levels to this, and you have to, it's like a stair, right? Like you have to solve those small issues to really like figure out how to solve issues and how to problem solve. Then you go to the next one, and now you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger issues. And throughout that process, as you're solving bigger issues, you ultimately you're going to be compensated more.
Yeah.
And so, it's just something for, people to remember as you're, solving issues. You're solving issues on a day-to-day. And as you start to look at bigger picture issues, like your compensation will, whatever company you're with, whatever organization, whatever industry, it doesn't matter. You will, as long as you're with the right industry, right company, like your level of compensation will increase, with that.
For sure. Now, why don't we, I mean, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but like you get into the office, Mark. What does your what does your day look like? Like, what are you prioritizing? What type of tasks are you doing?
So it all starts before you even get in the office too. When I look at the work phone, so obviously if there are jobs that are starting day of, like the morning I wake up, or if there were jobs that were supposed to be finished last night, I'm looking for messages to see or photos of things that were done. But based on the structure that you kind of taught me in terms of setting up task lists and stuff, like every day I have people that I need to call. We have over 100 projects right now. Like there's no chance that I'm going to be able to touch all 100, but based on the system we have and the organization we have, I can get to a huge part of that list and the most important parts of that list. So a lot of it's just setting tasks, following up with the right people in a timely fashion, and getting things back to ensure that we're getting things back to our client on time. So,
For sure.
but it all starts with the system that we're setting in place and that we're now implementing company-wide, which I'm having a part in too, which is pretty exciting. So for how we communicate. So
For sure. Yeah. And what about you? You get here, 8A, before 8A, what?
we've been on a good streak.
I know.
Me, you, Chad, and some Mikey
my-
Saps are always kind of. Oh, I mean, you've been going to the gym super
Yeah,
early, so you're
and
here too.
honestly, I will say that has been a game changer for me because
Saying gym in the morning has been a game
gym
changer.
in the morning. I feel like you got to. Like, I mean, I didn't today just because I'm leaving for Seattle and I had to get all my stuff packed and I still had stuff in the wash. but beside the point. But yeah, going into the gym at 5:30, I've been doing the last couple weeks, and it has been huge because I do 5:30 to 6:15 at the gym, shower, get here by 7, and I have an hour before like the rush of people really get here. I'm able to get so much done during that hour that I think it has been huge, and I've seen just over the last 2 weeks how much that's played into, how much I've been able to get done. For instance, earlier this week, I got into the office at 7. I realized that there was a job, the local job here in Warrendale, that we wanted to talk through striping and the wheel stop placement before we did it. Called Jake. He's like, "Yep, we're starting at 8A." It's 7:20, and I'm like, "Okay." Jumped in the car, drove over to the site. We got with the client 7:45, talked over, what the plan was, got a plan in place. Everyone was happy. From there, drove over to another job site that I needed to take some photos of. Got back here by like 5:10 after 8. I'm like, this is great. I had so much done by 8 a.m. I had gone to 2 job sites, and then I still had my full day. I had to do all my calls and, help my team and pour into my team so that, we're able to accomplish the goals that we have. But
I don't think anyone's benefited more from that than me. Her going to the gym at 5:30 than me, because when she gets up, like it'll force me to get up, and I have the treadmill downstairs, so I'll do my 45 to an hour of cardio in the morning, start off the day right before I look at the phone, unless if there's someone calling at 5:30 in the morning, which is rare, but does happen sometimes. And then work all day, and then I'll go home, walk the dog, lift, and then do some more work. But like that is a awesome way just to know that like I already have almost an hour of exercise done before I even.
Yeah, and that's the best part too, when you don't have to worry about the exercise component in the afternoon. Oh, so great. So great. What about you, Eli?
So I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't been to the gym in the morning in quite a while.
Yeah.
But I do play hockey on Thursdays in the morning. And those days that I play hockey, so I start at 6, I'm done by 7, I'm in the office by 7:30, 7:45.
Yeah.
And those days that I do play hockey in the morning, I feel great throughout the day.
More focused.
I feel great. Yes. Getting your body moving. So I will. I'm just gonna be real with you. I haven't been to the gym. It's been something that I probably.
You're still
should.
Here early though.
I am. Yeah. So I get here before 8. Most days, unless I have a meeting or something I have to go to. But I'm here at before 8 most days, and it really, to me, really it starts even Sunday before the week starts. Like I've been a huge proponent of this, and I would recommend anybody to take your week, figure out what are like the top things that you've got going this week. Like what are the top 5 things that you absolutely need to get done this week? Like sit down on a Sunday afternoon. You got football on, you got a hockey game on, you got whatever. You're sitting down after dinner, you're like relaxing, getting ready for the week, and like you just figure out your schedule for that week. Like where am I going to be Monday? Where am I going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? And then figure out like what are the top 5 things I have going on this week that I really need to get done. And then I also go as far as saying, what are the like what are the top 3 things that I'm really excited for this week? Like, what are they? Am I going to a hockey game with the team? Do I have some people coming in? Or am I going on a date with my wife? Like, what are some things that I'm like really excited for this week? And like, I'll write those things down as well, just as like mental reminders of like, you know, it's not always a grind. It's like, there are things that I'm really excited for
sure.
that that I'm really looking for. And there might be more than just 3, but
Right.
I would recommend anybody sit down on a Sunday afternoon, plan out your week, top 5 things, a couple things you're excited for, and then, you know, make your to-do list, make your checklist of like the tasks that you need to get done.
Sure.
It's helped me so much over the past 5 years, 6 years.
This is going to sound crazy, but like hearing what you were just saying about taking time to what you're excited for and stuff like that, I think since working here, and especially with just how busy we've been and gotten like a more present and enjoy like non-work related things like more in the moment of being, because like when we're with friends or we're golfing, like we're literally like that's shut off for that hour. Like it's not pending. It's not like that. I think that's kind of giving me a more like bit more appreciation for like even time spent with you where we're not talking about work or anything like that. Just kind of like because this is so involved.
Yeah.
It requires a lot.
You have to set the time aside for sure because yes, you know, we work hard, but like there still has to be those things that, you know, your wife, your pets, your family, like those things are still super important. So making the time, setting aside that time and thinking about it on a Sunday so that you can have the excitement throughout the week that, I mean, you know that's coming and you're going to work until, you know, work hard until those moments, but it's going to pay off because you're going to be able to enjoy those times with your family and your friends. So, but I was talking to Jenna Silverman last night, and did you happen to see her post about she posted about,
won't have access to.
Oh yeah,
an
so
email.
it said something about being out of the office with an email, like an automated email, and she was commenting. It said she has the post that, you know, gets automated, but then, you know, in reality, like she's gonna respond within like 10 seconds anyways, because like you know, whatever, work is life and life is work. So and I was thinking about though, and am I weird in thinking when I look at my phone or my email and I don't have any emails, I'm like, man, I like have something in me that makes me like so sad. Like I want more things to solve, more like
more issues,
more job. Like I want someone to be communicating with me, and when I don't have anything, I'm like, I don't know. Does anyone else feel like that?
I've felt that.
Depends on who the email's coming from.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point.
That's true. But
no, I've felt that before. Like sometimes my inbox is clear. I'm like,
like refreshing. I'm like,
yeah, like I feel like I should have issues, but no. I mean, in reality, sometimes it's like, no, I've actually empowered my team to take and really encourage them to take some of these issues, and it's really helped me free up my schedule so I can do other things.
For sure.
One of the things that I sometimes struggle with. So I've you know, gone on vacation a handful, probably 3 or 4 times throughout the last, maybe once a year. Like I'll go on vacation with Angel or, you know, with our family. And I have to make sure that in the morning, like I have to work for 2 hours. So I went to Cancun, I think it was 2 years ago
Christmas party.
Yeah.
Christmas party 2 years
ago. 2 years ago. I went to Cancun.
That was your honeymoon.
Yeah, it was our honeymoon.
Yeah.
It was literally my honeymoon.
Yeah, literally your honeymoon.
And I told Angel, I said, I have to work for 2 hours in the morning every single day during the week, or I'm going to be thinking about all the things that could be going wrong, that probably aren't, but could be throughout the day. Yeah. But by doing that, by working, you know, I got up 2 hours earlier than she did. I got up at 5 a.m. I worked from 5 to 7. She got up at 7. We went and had breakfast, and, you know, then we had our vacation.
Yep.
Even though I was on PTO, out of the office, whatever you want to call it. But as a salesperson, I'm like, as long as I do that, I know that the things that I need to do are taken care of throughout the day. Now I can actually like go and enjoy the day, and my mind isn't like, you know, thinking about thinking about the things that could be going wrong or the things that I didn't deliver on.
Or like set the people up in the office for the things that they're going to need to do to do what they need to do throughout the day. Because a lot of the times, like you may have something in your email that, you know, if someone else just had the information, it could be taken care of. But if it's like stuck in your email, then, you know. But I mean, we're the same way, you know. When we went to
Hawaii.
You weren't working then.
No, but you were. I mean, you were working on your computer.
Wasn't working because you weren't with the company yet. But when we went to you weren't working in Sedona either.
Nope.
Darn it. Last year at the Driftwood, though.
Yep.
That was a good example. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it was prime time. I mean, we were wheeling and dealing for a couple hours every morning.
End of July.
Yeah, I mean, we had stuff that was due. But, yeah, you do your stuff, and then you enjoy your
And then you have the rest
vacation,
of the day. And,
yeah.
like, my mind is now not thinking about, problems or work or
Right.
issues or my email going off. And then,
For
at the end of
sure.
the day, I usually check my email. I'm like, all right, what came
Yeah.
through today? But at least then my mind was at ease. So
For
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No,
I'm not saying everyone has to work on vacation at all.
No,
but
for sure.
That's what I do to,
but I
like,
think
feel
I mean,
sane.
you're still enjoying your vacation. You just kind of setting everyone else up to continue getting the ball rolling where it needs to go while you're gone. So, but yeah. So for those watching, that when we have, like I said, we have a media team, and they do such a great job at portraying a lot of the fun that we have here.
It is fun.
Yes, it is fun. We have a great team. We have, I mean, like I've said before, and at some of the posts that they posted, I mean, we get to work with our best friends. I mean, we all literally love each other, and we all get the opportunity to do fun things. But unfortunately, a lot of the times, the stuff that, not unfortunately, that's not fair, but like the stuff that's put out is the fun stuff, and maybe we need to show a little bit more of the behind the scenes stuff, just so
Day in the life.
a day in the life. I know you put one out, right?
Yeah, the media team put that out.
Yeah, go and watch Eli's
I
day
think
in the
they've
life.
done a couple things.
So
Yeah,
taking the garbage out,
take the garbage out, man.
Yeah.
Take the trash out.
take the trash out. But yeah, so the moral of the story is, what you see on social media is not always full picture. We do actually, work here. But yeah, we just wanted to give up.
I think an important note is like this show, like your guys' show here, it's only 30, 45 minutes every other week too.
Right.
So like, and the media team does such a great job at like taking clips and posting that and stuff. So
Yeah.
it looks like just like, well, the perks are always shooting. It's like, no, it's actually only
Clips
30
from like 2.5 months ago, bro.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I had a couple, handful of people say, well, like, when do you guys do at work? It looks like you're just having fun all the time. I'm like, we do have a lot of fun, but once again, the stuff that we get the opportunity to show is a little clip of, two times of our month that we get the opportunity to come over here. So just wanted to give people more of an insight of, what goes on behind the scenes and paint the picture. And yeah, that was pretty much the premise of this episode. So
What's got you most excited for this week, work-wise?
You said work-wise?
Work-wise.
Ooh,
Work-wise, what's got me most excited? For next week?
Sure.
It's Friday.
Yeah,
Today's
that's true.
Friday.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the week's pretty much wrapped up. I would say hearing the feedback from Paige and Todd going to this trade show. So they're going to a trade show here this next week, and this weekend into next week, into the early part of next week, and it's always been a really, really good trade show for us. So hearing what comes out of that is really exciting to me.
and speaking of, you were just at a trade show at ConX.
Was.
So you were in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that real quick before we wrap up.
Yeah, it was a really good show. There were a lot of people there. Like this is probably the busiest one I've seen since post COVID. We had an incredible booth. So it's our first customer facing trade show with that booth. The team assembles it. It's a 20 by 20 booth. We started with a 10 by 10 little tiny booth with like a cloth table, and so
how it's going.
Yeah. So I made a post on
great.
LinkedIn and Facebook too, so you can go check it out. But it's like how it's going, or how it was versus how it's going, or how we started versus how it's going.
Yeah.
And the first booth we had was a little 10 by 10 with a little cloth table and a little banner of saying the Pavement Group, and it was good, worked at the time. But like to fast forward now, 6 years to 2024, and to see our 20 by 20 booth, that's massive. I mean, we had so many compliments of people saying like, this is an incredible booth. So that was really great. We had a lot of people from the sales team there, captured a lot of good content, made a lot of really good connections, met with some other, strategic partners and things of that nature too, not just clients. So it's a really good show, Yeah,
it was a really nice show last year too. Very well put together, and always nice to connect with people that you're doing work with, make some new connections. So glad to hear that you guys had a nice time and loved seeing that booth. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Great.
Loved
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, we don't have a booth like that at Hotel Point, but I can't wait to see that in real life one day because that is just
It's nice. Yeah.
it is epic. So good stuff. All right. Well, any last comments before we wrap up?
No.
Nope.
That's it.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on Monday release, I think 8 or 9A. But you can check us out on the One Team Media YouTube page or the Pavement Group YouTube page. Thanks for joining in. Take
Thanks a
care.
lot, guys.